Everybody has a story. Some end too soon, some never find their ending. But every chapter matters. If you felt Elena's story, if you've ever loved, lost, or believed again, then please subscribe, like, and share your own story in the comments. Because sometimes, the most beautiful love stories are the ones we live ourselves. Broken Red. Search FOR, True Love. My name is Elena Carter, and this is the story of how love broke me and how I found it again. Sometimes, when I look at the rain falling outside my window, I remember how everything began. They say love makes you alive, but what they don't say is how it can also tear you apart until you forget who you are. Number the first goodbye. I was 22 when I met Daniel, the boy who made me believe in forever. He had that kind of smile that could make the world stop for a second. He painted dreams with words, and I foolishly, beautifully believed every one of them. We studied together, laughed under starlight, shared cheap coffee and expensive dreams. He used to whisper, "Elena, one day it'll be you and me against the world." And I believed him. Mira dil sach main mangaya tha, but love has a cruel sense of humor. When he got a job offer in New York, he promised he'd come back. "Just 1 year," he said, "then everything will be perfect." But 1 year became 2, then 3. And one winter night, while the snow fell outside my window, my phone buzzed. It was a message, short, cold, sharp. "Elena, I'm sorry, I met someone, please don't hate me." I remember staring at the screen, my hands shaking. I laughed once, a broken, hollow laugh, and then I cried. I cried until I couldn't breathe, until my heart felt like it was tearing apart inside my chest. Mira dil tut gayatha puri terra si. I stopped eating. I stopped painting. Even the sunlight hurt. Love had left me hollow, just a body carrying too many memories. Number, the years of silence. Time passed, but the ache stayed. I buried myself in work, becoming an art curator at a small gallery in London. Every painting I hung on the wall whispered of loss, a face fading, a touch forgotten, a love that died too soon. People said I was strong, but strength is just a name for those who hide their pain well. Inside, I was tired of being brave. And then, he walked number, the stranger in the gallery. It was a rainy afternoon. The kind where the sky looks like it's about to cry with you. A man entered the gallery, tall, gentle, his eyes soft but filled with stories. He stood in front of a painting called The Waiting Heart. "It feels alive," he murmured. I looked up and said quietly, "Art always is. It breathes what we can't say." He smiled, the kind of smile that doesn't ask for anything. His name was Adrian Wells, a writer who had seen too much of the world and too little of love. From that day, he came often. We talked about art, poetry, broken hearts, and how silence sometimes speaks louder than words. There was something in his voice, a calmness that began to melt the ice around my heart. And slowly, I started to smile again. Number, when fear returns. One evening, we sat by the Thames, the lights of London dancing on the water. My whole life, I felt my heart skip, but fear whispered inside me, "Don't believe it. Love always leaves." I forced a smile. "You shouldn't say things like that." "Why not?" "Because forever doesn't exist." He looked at me for a long time and said softly, "Maybe not forever, but maybe something real does." That night, I went home and cried again. Not because of pain, but because I could feel something breaking, the walls I had built to protect myself. I started ignoring his calls. I told myself it was for the best. Main dobara tutna nahai chadi thai. I couldn't risk loving again. Number, the letter that changed everything. Weeks later, I found a letter on my gallery desk, his handwriting, familiar and trembling. "Elena, you once told me love hurts. Maybe it does, but running from it hurts even more. If you ever decide to open your heart again, you'll find me not waiting but believing. Adrian." When I finished reading, I couldn't stop crying. His words broke something inside me, not my heart, but my silence. I ran through old streets that night, calling his name into the rain. But he was gone. The gallery manager told me he'd left for Scotland to write a book. No phone, no address. Just gone. Number, the search. Months passed. I tried to move on, but every painting, every poem, every quiet night reminded me of him. And one morning, while watching a child chase a red balloon in the park, I realized something. I wasn't afraid of losing him. I was afraid of never feeling this again, that warmth, that truth. So I packed a small bag and took a train to Scotland. The journey was long through fog, rain, and endless green hills. But my heart was alive again, beating with something I thought I'd lost. Hope. Finding him, the town of Lindmere was quiet, kissed by the sea breeze. I asked everyone about Adrian, a writer with soft eyes. Finally, a cafe owner said, "Oh yes, he comes here every morning. Sits by the window with his notebook." My hands trembled. I waited by the door, my heart pounding louder than the waves. And then I saw him, the same brown eyes, the same gentle face, a little older, a little sadder. He froze when he saw me. "Elena," I stepped closer, tears already spilling. "I found your letter and I found myself in it." He looked stunned. "Why are you here?" "Because I was wrong," I whispered. "Love isn't meant to be safe. It's meant to be real. And you're the only truth I've ever run from." Adrian's voice broke. "Are you sure, Elena? Because this time I can't lose you." I nodded, crying and smiling all at once. "You won't, not this time." He pulled me into his arms, and for the first time in years, I felt whole again. Uski bahan main sab kuch sahai lag rahatha. The harbor promise, we walked by the sea that evening, our hands entwined. I told him about my fears, my heartbreak, my mistakes. He listened quietly and said, "Love doesn't end when people leave. Elena, it ends when we stop believing." I look at him, eyes full of tears. "And you, do you still believe?" He smiled. "I never stopped." That night, under the stars, he kissed me soft, slow, like a promise finally kept. The storm a year later, a violent storm hit the coast. The sea was angry, the sky dark and wild. Adrian ran out to help the fishermen secure their boats. I begged him not to go. He kissed my forehead. "I'll be back, my love. Always. Os me, Elena. Not in this life, not in the next." That night, I cried again, not from fear, but from gratitude. Because for the first time, love didn't hurt, it healed. The years of peace we grew together, not in perfection, but in truth. He wrote novels. I painted oceans and sunsets. One day, I asked him, "What do you think true love is?" He smiled. "It's not fireworks. It's staying, even when it rains." We grew old in Lindmere, writing letters to each other even while living under the same roof. He would leave notes on my easel that said, "You are my reason to write." And then, one winter morning, he didn't wake up. He lay there peacefully, a faint smile on his lips. I held his hand, whispering through tears, "You kept your promise, my love." He used to say, "When I go, don't cry. Our love won't end. It'll just change sky." The last painting years later, my hair had turned silver, but my heart still remembered his touch. One evening, I painted my final canvas, a sea at sunset, calm and endless. In the distance, two figures walked hand in hand, fading into the golden light. When I finished, I whispered, "I've found you again, my love." That night, I closed my eyes, smiling, and drifted away like a wave returning home. Epilogue. When people visited my gallery after I was gone, they stopped before that painting. They said they could feel it, love, loss, and something beyond both. They named it True Love's Horizon, and those who stood before it felt what I had learned through years of heartbreak and healing. True love isn't something we find. It's something we become, because real love doesn't die. It just changes form, waiting to be found again, in another time, in another life. Moral of the story, true love doesn't mean never breaking. It means breaking together and healing as one. It's not about promises that last forever. It's about souls that recognize each other, even beyond forever.